Welcome to the Relationship Economy. I'm Deragon, and I'm your host. This show is about the intersection of technology and human behavior. In every show, we're going to be discussing different topics and different perspectives, all having to do with social media. Well, today we have a special guest with us, Dan Ryan. Dan, good to meet you.
Jay, it's good to be here.
Dan is a local resident of the Nashville community. He's a well-known employment recruiter. He runs Link to Nashville, which is a social network for Nashville area, and he's all over LinkedIn. Dan is in the recruitment field. He does public speaking, talking about social media all over the place to chambers and local groups. And I wanted to ask Dan because I see a lot of activity that came out of LinkedIn that primarily LinkedIn started out as a tool for recruiters. So what do recruiters do when they're on LinkedIn?
Gosh, Jay, I'm trying to think of how I can answer this in a short, succinct way. I've used LinkedIn as one of my primary recruiting tools for almost 2 years now, and I'm a very networking-oriented individual. And when I talk to people about LinkedIn, I tell them that LinkedIn is a catalyst for helping us to have conversations just like the one we're having right now. LinkedIn is also a bridge because sometimes the person you're wanting to get to or talk to may not be right up next to you, but there could be someone that is a mutual acquaintance that could help build that bridge to build that conversation. So what LinkedIn does is LinkedIn connects people in a way that they could never be connected under normal circumstances.
But my question, I guess, is because I'm not a recruiter, but I know when businesses need talent, and it's awful nice at these economic times to find a business that's looking for talent, but when they go to find talent, they're looking at a profile with a picture and words. So what are the key things that they look for to trigger their interest in somebody and whether that candidate might fit the job? Because, you know, words are powerful. And on LinkedIn, you've got your profile, you've got your status, what you're doing. You can put your blog in there. You can put a PowerPoint in there, and you can have conversations in groups. So if I'm an employer, what do I go looking for?
I see LinkedIn as being a real-time impression of who a person is, what they've done, and what they'd like to do. I see it as the real-time resume for many people. Give you a case in point. I do executive search work from coast to coast. I have clients in California, clients in Virginia, clients in Florida, clients in Michigan, and I've actually done executive leadership work in the Middle East. What LinkedIn will help me do is to find people who have very specific skill sets, find out where they are geographically, and the thing that LinkedIn allows a candidate to do is it lets them express what is their interest. Is my interest in having a conversation? Is my interest in finding a new career? And as a recruiter, I think everyone is always looking for a new career. Some are very active, many are very passive. And for me, LinkedIn is the tool that helps me reach out and touch and connect to those passive individuals who are looking for the right opportunity, and it's my job to communicate that information to them.
And now, Dan, you also have your own show called Human Capital Connection. Why don't you tell the Relationship Economy audience, what is the Human Capital Connection show all about?
Jay, we live in a really exciting time, and depending upon how you see it, the glass is either half full or it's half empty. I always see the glass as almost completely full because we live in a time where even though there is a lot of unemployment, the challenge is you have firms who are letting people go on one hand and hiring on the other hand. So not only do we have changes in employment, but we also have a shifting of needs. So in my role and what I do with Human Capital Connection, my point will be to help individuals, help organizations know what is it that's going on in the world, what are the skill sets that people are looking for, and if I want to participate in that economy, what do I need to know, who do I need to know, and where do I need to go to find that information? One of the best sources of finding that information is right here.
Well, Dan, it sounds to me like you're talking about the relationship economy. And that's what this show is all about. How do we use technology to include the opportunity to grow our relationships, help other relationships achieve certain objectives, or help ourselves achieve objectives? So I do appreciate you coming on the show, sharing with our audience. All of you, stay tuned for Dan's show. That's the Human Capital Connection show right here on Social Media Connection. And thank you for staying tuned.